Okay. We're on I believe, the fifth page of the packet for the math packet for week 2. It says number 6. Jed owns a music store and is taking inventory to prepare for a new order. He has organized the count of instruments in the table below. Help Jed analyze his store and place an upcoming order. So, find the percent of the store that each category of instruments comprises. So let's see. We know that part equals percent times whole. So part equals percent times whole. And that's going to be the case for all of these, right? Well, this first one, part equals percent times whole. Well, it says string instruments. Well, we got string instruments. Well, that's going to be 65 equals the percentage, which is what I'm trying to figure out. Some unknown value x. And that's going to be multiplied. You know what? I'm going to use s for string times whole. Well, what is the whole? How much is this out of? Well, to figure out what it's out of, well, how many instruments are in the store? You got 65 plus 90 plus 159 plus 186. So it's out of 500 instruments because there are 500 total. Okay, so 65 equals S times 500. All right, how do you get the string instruments by itself? So divide both sides by 500. Barely any room to do our work, unfortunately. You know what? Let me give this one more shot, a little bit smaller. So it'll be tiny, but you can see it on here. So you got part, which is 65, equals percent times whole. So it's going to be S for string value times whole, which is 500. Divide both sides by 500. 500 on top, 500 on bottom. That's gone now. And S times 1 is just S. Okay. Oh my gosh. On the left side, you got 65 divided by 500. You get 0.13. But that must be written as a percentage because we're looking for the percentage, and that is going to be 13%. So that's the first one, okay? String instruments. The next one, the percussion instruments or percussion. Sorry if I mispronounced that. So it's going to be parts equals percent times whole. All right, well, how much is the part? Well, it's going to be part is 90 because it's 90 percussion. I know I'm looking for the percentage, so that's an unknown variable. And then times the whole. How much is this out of? Well, it's out of 500. So times 500. So there's my equation. How do you isolate x? Well, you need to divide both sides by 500. The opposite of multiplying by 500 is dividing by 500. It's 90 divided by 500. So you get, we get that on the right side, 5x times 1 is x. 90 divided by 500 is 0.18. But this needs to be written as a percentage, so it's 18%. All right, so that's percussion instruments. On the left side, we have wind instruments. And so when it comes to wind instruments, part equals percent times whole. So again, can I just copy this? I feel like I'm gonna write it over and over again. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, look at that. So you got how much is the part? Well, we're dealing with wind instruments. So how much wind instruments? 159. I know that I'm looking for the percent. So do an unknown variable. I'm going to put W for wind times the whole. How much is this out of? How many instruments in total? 500. All right, let's solve this by isolating for the percentage. So divide both sides by 500. You get 159 divided by 500. And you get, that's gone. And we're left with a W on the right side. And on the left side, you get 0.318. But we want a percentage. And so that is 31.8%. Okay. So far so good. The next part, brass instruments. Part equals percent times whole. Will it work? Will it work? Haha. Oh, snap, it did not work. Too much work. All right, part equals percent times whole. Well, how much is the part? Well, the part is, in this case, how many brass instruments? 186. Equals the percentage, which is what's missing. So put B times the whole. How much is this out of? 500. All right, how do you get B by itself? You're going to divide both sides by 500 to isolate the percentage B. 500 on top, 500 on bottom, that's 1. And 1 times B, or B times 1 is just B. 186 divided by 500, that is 0.372. And then that's going to be a 37.2%. All right, so that was the top portion where we're finding the percentages. Okay. For part B, it can be solved a number of ways. If we're trying to stick to the equation, part equals percent times whole. So part equals percent times whole. If we're sticking to this equation, then we need to fill in the pieces. So let's think about it, okay? I know they gave me the percentage because it says that he wants to order 30% more. So 30% more. So think about it. He wants to order 30% more of the, the percussion instruments. So he was originally going to order 100% of his items. Now he wants to order 30% more. So I'm going to have 100% plus 30%. This is 130%. Because he wants to order, he has 100% of them. Now he wants 30% additional, so he's going to have 130%. All right. Well, how much does he have right now? Well, right now he has 90. And we'll see what we have. So that's the missing value P. So to solve this, you have P equals 1.30 times 90. And so 1.30 times 90, it's going to be 117. So if he orders 30% more, now he's going to have 117 instruments. Well, the percussion instruments. Let's abbreviate it pretty much. Okay, so he's going to have 117 in total. But the question asks, how many more should he order? So he's not going to order 117 more. He had 90. He ordered 30% more to get 117. So how many more instruments does he want to order? Well, 119 minus, sorry, not 119. He had 117 minus 90 gives us 27. So he's going to order 27 more instruments, which is 30% more. So it's 27 more percussion instruments. Okay, so a little bit of outside the box kind of thinking right here. This is not the only way. There's plenty of other ways to do it. C, after the order arrives, Jed has a total of 130 string instruments. What percentage of his string instruments are new? So we have part equals percent times whole. Part equals percent times whole. I know that the percentage is what I'm looking for. So it says what percent. So make that your unknown variable. So that's an unknown value. It's a variable x. Well, it says now he has a total of 130. So is 130 going to be the whole or the part? Well, it's going to be the whole. And then what's the part? Well, the part is, let's think about it. If he has 130 new instruments, a total of string instruments, and he had 65 before, well, he had 65 before, he has 130 now. So how much is the parts? How much of them are new? Well, it's going to be 130 minus 65, which is 65. Now we have 65 equals x times 130. How do you get x by itself? Divide both sides by 130. On top, 130 on bottom. And you get that right side is x, the left side, 65 divided by 130. Looks like it's going to be 50%, I believe. Yep, 0.5. And you have to express that as a percentage. Well, remember, there's a 0 after that 5. So that is 50%. Make sure you move the decimal to the right twice, guys, because this is 50%. So 50% of the strings are new. All right, so that was the top portion. The bottom portion, number 7. Southbrook Middle School tabulates the number of students who participate in the middle school athletic program. They have displayed the percentage of students who participate in the table below. So this is the number of students. No participation, only one sport, 2 sports, 3 or more sports. So if Southbrook Middle School has 850 students, then how many students participate in the various number of sports? Well, okay, so let's think about this, okay? Our equation, you know what it is by now. Part equals percent times whole. All right. Looks like the percentages are going to come um, from whatever situation is being discussed. No participation, only one sport, two sports, three or more sports. And it looks like the whole, well, what's the whole? Automatically, the whole is always going to be 850. So it looks like the only part that's going to be missing is the part. So for example, this first one, no participation. Well, part equals percent times whole. So we don't know what the part is. That's what's missing. Equals percent. How much percent? Well, no participants. And that's right there. And so that's 12%. How do you write 12% as decimal? 0.12 times whole. What's the whole? 850. Oops. So there it is. All right. X is already isolated. Now all you have to do is 0.12 times 850, and you get 102. So 102 students do not participate. The other ones are the exact same thing. So only one sport. So that's right here, only one sport. So again, the only part that's going to be interchanging is going to be the percentage. So X equals the percentage times the whole, which is 850. How much was the percentage? Well, in this case, it's 42%. So it's going to be 0.42. So we have 0.42 times 850. So it looks like students that only played one sport is 357. Okay. Students that played two sports. Well, again, the exact same equation. The part equals the percent times the whole, and the whole is 850 students. How much was the percent? 28%, so it's 0.28. 0.28 times 850. And so you get that the students that only played two sports is 238. And the last case, three or more sports. Right there. Okay, so we have parts equals percent, 18%, so that's 0.18 multiplied by the whole. What's the whole? Well, it's out of 850 students. Multiply those two, 0.18 times 850. And so the number of students is 153. Oops. 153. And there we are. So that was the fifth page completed. All right. I'm gonna stop this video and then I'm gonna move on to the sixth page.